Welcome to another thrilling episode of Hacker Hacks, the podcast that dives deep into the ever evolving world of cybersecurity. Today's episode brings a mix of cautionary tales, groundbreaking developments, and pivotal moments in the global digital security landscape. From the revelation of vulnerabilities in cybersecurity firms to the latest state sponsored cyber campaigns. We're exploring how the digital domain continues to be a battleground for security experts and hackers alike. Buckle up as we navigate through these intriguing cyber incidents and their profound implications. Intruder.io, a cybersecurity firm, discovered a vulnerability in their own platform that allowed an attacker to extract low privileged AWS credentials. The vulnerability was exploited through a DNS rebinding attack, which is a type of attack that can bypass security restrictions and allow an attacker to access internal network services. The attack was possible because the firm's screenshot workers, which capture snapshots of customer websites, followed HTTP redirects and lacked restrictions on accessing the internal EC2 metadata service. The vulnerability was patched by implementing network-level restrictions and switching to IMDS v2, which requires a token in a header in all requests to the metadata service. This incident highlights the importance of conducting ethical hacking and penetration testing to identify vulnerabilities before they can be exploited by malicious actors. CISA has issued a reminder to organizations to patch known vulnerabilities after a federal agency was hacked through an outdated software vulnerability. The agency recommends upgrading affected software, implementing network segmentation, and enforcing application control policies. TSA also plans to release a tool next year to help organizations better understand their security gaps and meet cybersecurity performance goals. These goals are aligned with the National Institute of Standards and Technology Cybersecurity Framework. The next article, it's about how our emotions and human traits can be vulnerabilities in the world of cybersecurity. Attackers exploit these weaknesses to manipulate us into divulging sensitive information or performing actions that compromise our security. To defend ourselves, we need to be aware of these tactics and question our emotional responses to suspicious interactions. By establishing a stop and assess mentality, we can strengthen our mental firewalls and protect ourselves from cyber threats. The number of data breaches in the US has reached an all-time high, with over 360 million people affected in the first 8 months of 2023. The majority of these breaches were due to ransomware attacks, which have increased by nearly 70% compared to the same period in 2022. The healthcare sector has been particularly affected, with 60% of organizations reporting a ransomware attack. Vendor exploitation attacks have also been common, allowing hackers to access sensitive information from multiple organizations. The report emphasized the importance of prioritizing personal data safety and cybersecurity benchmarking to prevent such attacks. The UK and its allies have accused Russian intelligence services of conducting a campaign of cyber attacks aimed at interfering in UK politics and democratic processes. The attacks, which have been ongoing since 2019, have targeted high-profile individuals and entities, and have included selective leaking of information to undermine trust in politics. The UK's National Cybersecurity Centre, NCSC, has issued a new advisory with technical details on how the actors carry out attacks and how targets can defend against them. The NCSC has also published refreshed guidance for individuals and organizations at high risk of being targeted. The campaign is part of a broader pattern of Russian intelligence activity exposed by the UK and its allies in recent years. Sierra Wireless routers have been found to have 21 vulnerabilities, including one critical vulnerability that can be exploited by attackers to cause denial of service, remote code execution, and credential stealing attacks. The vulnerabilities are in the Airlink Enterprise Operating System, ALOS, software and open source components such as OpenDNS and TinyXML. Security updates are available to patch the bugs, and it is recommended that cybersecurity teams update their devices to the latest software versions and implement additional security measures to protect their OT, IoT routers. According to a study commissioned by Apple, there has been a 20% increase in data breaches in the US in the first 9 months of 2023 compared to the full year 2022. The study argues that end-to-end encryption is the only feasible way to protect consumer data, but this approach has been a friction point between technologists and government officials. The study found that technology companies are frequently attacked by hackers due to their valuable targets, and 98% of organizations have a relationship with at least one technology vendor that has experienced a data breach in the past 2 years. A man in Navi Mumbai was arrested for stealing INR 18.74 lakh from a company's bank account through SIM card fraud. The accused gained access to the company's financial information by manipulating the login credentials of a telecommunications services company. The investigation revealed that the accused received sensitive account details from the bank account holder, including the ATM PIN, checkbook, and mobile phone number. The modus operandi involved the accused receiving a deceptive SMS notifying him of a SIM card deactivation, which was then used to gain access to the company's financial information. This incident highlights the vulnerabilities of SIM card fraud and the importance of cybersecurity measures to protect against such sophisticated cyber threats. Microsoft has replaced its longtime chief information security officer, CISO, with a fresh face it hired only 4 months ago. The security shuffle comes on the heels of multiple cybersecurity lapses and an investigation by the Department of Homeland Security's Cyber Safety Review Board. Microsoft has instituted what it calls the Secure Future Initiative. Medical imaging centers in NY and Texas have been hit by hackers, affecting over 600,000 individuals. East River Medical Imaging, a New York-based provider, disclosed a potential data breach impacting nearly 606,000 individuals. And that wraps up another insightful episode of Hacker Hacks. Today, we delved into some of the most pressing cybersecurity issues facing us, from the vulnerabilities in our own defenses to the ongoing geopolitical cyber warfare. It's clear that the digital realm remains a complex and challenging space. Remember, staying informed and vigilant is our best defense in this constantly changing cyber landscape. Tune in next time for more updates from the front lines of cybersecurity. Stay safe and secure out there.